if we are going to have a good quality of life in a country, we must do that for all of our peoples, not just for babies, not just for people who might be in the labor force, but for people of all ages and backgrounds and races. About a year and a half ago, the United Nations brought together countries from around the world to develop a set of goals looking ahead to 2013, in which each country would think about how it is that they're going to make their places, their populations, their environments sustainable. And the tagline on the Sustainable Development Goals is "No one left behind." And I think what they mean is that if we are going to have a good quality of life in a country, we must do that for all of our peoples, not just for babies, not just for people who might be in the labor force, but for people of all ages and backgrounds and races. It's a very, very ambitious agenda, and not legally binding, but countries are expected to develop their own plans towards this 2013 sustainability. The underpinnings of all of this "no one left behind" seems to me to be one about including people in important aspects of their societies. And if we're thinking about older people, we're thinking about people of any age, that requires us in all nations to look at issues like, are people involved in making decisions about the direction that their country takes or the quality of their community? Are they able to vote to be full citizens? It means things like, do people have good quality social connections and social relationships? If there's something that an older person or a person of any age needs, do they know the people and the places where they can get those services? It means access to services, whether they're health services or social services. And it means having communities that are good places for people of all ages. And so for older people, it means thinking about them as part of what we hope is a long life course. And are there some things we need to pay attention to particularly to include them in all of those ways?
How would you position aging in Africa, older people in Africa, within this global framework? After all, we're the youngest continent on the face of the earth, and the focus is on young people.
But I would say first that we're talking about aging. And with any luck, those young people will grow to be older people. So
there's a long-term vision.
This is a long-term vision. There are people who are now old, and I know that one of the things that's been very exciting about Africa being really engaged in international discourses is learning about the particularities of growing old in sub-Saharan Africa and how those are similar to or different from those in other parts of the world. So not long ago, I was having a conversation with someone about how there are still very remote, isolated communities in countries in sub-Saharan Africa where older people aren't well connected to services. Only 2 weeks ago, I was at a forum in Japan. One of the presentations was by a woman from the Arctic in Siberia who was talking about older people in these tiny little hamlets where there are no roads and no services in and out, where the temperature can be -40 or colder, and how they're trying there to reduce isolation. different in all kinds of ways, but the same in many ways. I don't think we have known enough about our commonalities because we haven't had all parts of the world engaged in the conversation. It doesn't matter how many people are old. What matters is that populations are aging, people are growing older, and we can learn from one another across countries, but also across generations.
Norah Keating, thank you very much.
My pleasure.